goods from the Far East, from China. Took a long time getting here. They were late, but better late than not at all. This is not for a car directly, but it is indirectly. These are all the craze at the moment. Typical sort of Chinese packaging with the bits of broken polystyrene. This is what we got. It's a massive Pac-Man, but it's blue. Here we go. Know what it is? It says on here, stretcher. But I don't think it's the type of stretcher that you lie down on. And these should be shrinking dies. There we go. Oh dear, right. A little bit rough. Like that. I have to move the grab screw before that can go in. Right, that goes in there. And that is the lever action to shrink or stretch depending on which dies you've got in. It's got that horrible old oil smell. So we have some destructions. Pressing device and expanded bending machine. Pressing device and expanded bending machine, right. Universal expanding stroke finishing tool in the workshop and on construction sites. For clamping and upsetting beveled sheets up to 1.2 millimeters. Sheet steel, including pressing and gripping tools. Clean, fast and accurate work for a variety of ductwork forming applications. Power is transmitted to tools via a hand lever. Therefore, a simple and quick exchange of tool inserts is guaranteed. Product advantages. Appliance can be used in a wide range of tasks in the workshop and on construction sites. Beveled canettes can be up to 1.2 millimeter sheet steel stretched and compressed, including finishing and what? It doesn't say, just blank there. So, including finishing and. I think you've put in your own thing there, maybe. Gripping tool for a clean, fast and quiet operation. They're repeating themselves. They're using random words and then just like repeating them. There we go. Technical details. Blank. We don't care about any of that. Next, we shall try it out in the workshop. Thank you, bye. This is my Chinesium shrinker stretcher, and when I got it, I popped a piece of metal in there and squeezed on it, and it didn't really do anything, so it just went hard. I pulled the jaws out, There's a set screw in there that you can adjust, and it changes the gap between them. There wasn't any gap on the stretching dies here, there wasn't any gap between them, so I wound it in to make a gap so that when you squeeze down on it they actually could move. So I did that, plonked it back together again. I put a 90-degree piece of metal in it and blow me down with a feather, the thing worked. See the serration marks on it, not particularly desperate. It blinking worked. I wish I videoed it actually, because I was jubilant, jumping for joy. It was wicked, absolutely brilliant. So happy. I got a feeling that this is how it came. But I think that these, I don't think these should be in line. I think these should be staggered. You've got a long one and a short one, and they're both in line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that around. This is just the feeling, or I've seen it somewhere, or doesn't want to go in too easily without a fight. There we go. Right. So that's in now. Right. So now they're staggered. So that line's not in line with that line. So I can get them on here now. There we go. So for some reason the jaw is popping up and locking into that slot there. So I'll pull them out again. See if I can find out why. Quite a lot of friction on these. I see Dave on Dave's garage. I think he was polishing these up to get them to slide better. Maybe that's something I need to do here, because that's just solid. I'll give that a go. I'm going to try and clean up these faces and see what it does. You can see the surface is extremely rough. It's almost like that's the serrations for gripping the metal and shrinking it, pulling the two bits together. Well, that's the sliding. Similar, that's gone, that spring. That's the sliding surface, and it's rough. So I'm gonna sort them out first. I'm attacking it with the file. And it is quite hard, which is a good thing. But I'm basically going to file that out till I can't see the black lines anymore, and do that with all three pieces in the bottom and all three pieces in the top. Oil it, and hopefully it'll slide and do what we want it to do. Two of those filed up now. On one side of that, the difference is significant. They wouldn't slide before, not easily. You could lock them together, you could hold them together and lock them. Now they won't lock, they'll just slide, so it's definitely got to be the right thing to do. So I'll just finish that one. I haven't done the other side, the top half yet. Top half's in there. But I'll finish filing that and I'm going to try it. Just because I want it. And then I'll file, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll file that first. Maybe I exercise a little more patience. Right, this is the top tool. And really rough. Really, really rough. Rougher than the bottom tool. These are about the same as the bottom tool. We'll get that smooth as anything. So all the filing is done, and now I've got an assistant to hold the camera for me, but I can demonstrate that. If I squeeze that, the tooling now works. It works well. Look at that. Let's get a good stroke on there. And all that's doing is, I couldn't even budge him before. That great big lever, couldn't budge him. I don't know why China's got no quality control or no finishing process. It's taken me, I don't know, an hour, if that, to just file those, and now they slide beautifully. I'm not even putting any lube in there now, but I'm gonna put some super lube in there, and then put the jaws back in and see if I can shrink something. So going from something that wouldn't even move to now, the pressure that's required to move those dies in is nothing. You see the gap between the top and the bottom die, and just move that, just closes up, and that's your shrinking motion. Oh, it's working. I think. See them? The material moving around. There you go. That's shrunk that edge down. Yeah. If that's what it's supposed to do, it's working. It's quite deep, that. Ooh. I just puckered that all up there. Could obviously hammer that flat, but that's taken from a straight piece of curving it around. Maybe that's definitely puckered that up there. So obviously shrink the material up. I'd have to varnish that out if it was a proper piece of work. Yeah, feel it pulling it around. Yeah. Although the stretching die worked after adjusting the spring pressure on it, I'm going to do the same thing and polish those up. I'm not going to do it now. I want to get on with the job in hand. Or maybe I do, because I want to use them. Maybe I do that now. Okay, going to polish or file the roughness off the back of the stretching dies as well. So I could have said it's a jolly good job that I pulled these apart. Here's the top jaws, which are together, and when you put the pressure on, you have to trust me because I got one hand again, they spread apart. You go down that ramp and spread apart. These are the bottom jaws, which are already apart. And they shouldn't be. They should be together like that. I thought, oh okay, when I first got them, I'll just wind that in a bit because they were even further apart than that. It's a miracle it worked the first time around. And what I need to do is rehash where that spring goes, and that spring actually goes in there. jammed at the moment. Could probably do with some better quality screws in it, but I doubt it's going to make that much difference. So let's say that spring is actually jammed in there. And it's supposed to go in the top there and be free. So they go together like that. Whoop. Drop your screwdriver, it's obviously magnetic. So get the screw head sub flush. It's supposed to go apart like that. It didn't do that earlier. You go on there. There is no effort at all, really. I'm a little bit wonky. Aha. So maybe it did work at first, because that's pulled through now. Yeah, that's pulled through. So there's obviously an issue with the tolerance on it or something. I don't think the spring's supposed to pull through like that. That's obviously what happened. Oh! Beware of flying springs. That screw is actually a little bit bent. So rather than tying it right up, I'm just going to have it sub flush. About there. That should work. It definitely wasn't like that before. And it doesn't need much movement. Right, so that's the bottom set done. Now we're going to file the top set. The difference between the bottom set and the top set is that these have extra holes in them. By having the pull spring. So there's my serrations. Keep the vise away from that. I'm just going to run around it with the file. Just knock any burrs or whatever off. Right, face doesn't really matter. No, it's the outside face. Literally to make sure there's no burrs on it. And then that surface there is the sliding surface on the wedge. All the other ones have actually done it so that all the black has gone. So I best carry on as I started. But you probably get away with, don't know, no, still rough, so not pretty smooth. Probably enough, but that's one of them done. I'll do that one, and then the two sides there, assemble it, and we're good to go. Right, that's filed, as is them. So work out how to fix them back together again. I should do it. So again, they're not exactly parallel. You can see that. And that's got to do with, I'm sure, the screw. So pop the spring back in. You can see now a gap on both of those. I can't get them to spread, but that's the job of this. There we go. Doesn't appear to be working as nicely as the shrinker. The top one's moving apart, but the bottom one isn't. The bottom one may have pulled through on the spring again. So I'm going to have to look at that, because that's not right. There's a gap there again. So the spring must have pulled through. I'm going to have to find a more permanent solution for that. Yeah, sure enough, the spring's pulled through. So I've assembled it again a couple of times and the spring pushes through. So there's obviously a machining error. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to put centre pot marks around there just to try and close that hole up a little bit. I go on there like that. And miss. Well, I didn't miss, but I slipped. Ow. And again. Taking half the chunk of my finger out with it. So that, I don't know if you can see, has closed the hole up. I tried to modify the spring, make it a bit bigger, pull the tail out on it. But I think this is probably a better idea. So the top one's alright, but the bottom one first squeeze on the handle and it came out. You can see them two together. Same as I did the first squeeze before, you pop them out. Right. There you go, you can see them now working properly. Both jaws moving apart, so it's down, stretch, down, stretch, down, stretch. That's nice now, working perfectly. Okay, so I've sprayed some oil in there and we can work with that now. So if you excuse the fan noise for a while, it's a bit hot. So that's the piece I stretched before, and obviously I could stretch this, but it just went wobbly and it wasn't coming down to that bottom edge. So what we've decided is on the piece that we're doing on the van is that I'd do it in two pieces. I'd make a channel, curve the channel, and then weld a side extension on it. This was confirmed by Dylan as a good way to do it. Another way would be to hammer form it, which took me a while to get my head around, but yeah, basically you'd have a curved male form, and you put your feature on there, get the curve in it, and then hammer down the sides. But I'm not doing that. Not building a hammer form, not today. Right, these are a very good tool. Blue Point shears. Right, just made that flange there, as I thought it's probably not going to go in there. It should do now. Okay. Still quite high, that wall there. Which doesn't seem to matter because now there I have my curve. That worked. Not as much as that curve there. Now it's going. Nice curve on that now. Almost equal. There we go. So if I dolly that now, I could just bring that back up to 90 degrees, and we have our curved piece of channel. Voila. To the camera. Curve there. Curve there. relatively flat through there. I could do a lot better. It's the first time I've ever done this, so could probably planish that through there as well. Get it more even. Not terrible, but it's not perfect. Certainly flatten the entrance out and the exit out. But we've now got a fully functioning tool. So what I should do, keep kicking the tripod, is, because this is where I want this to curve ever so slightly, is I'm going to cut off that material. Well, I'm just going to make a cut through there and bend that out of the way and see if I can get it in the jaws. I should be able. That's bent back to here, flat that back to there, and I should be able to get that into the jaws. A bit high, but get that into the jaws. Can move that up and put my curve in.